Shalom, my name is Jason Wilson, and welcome to the Comprehensive Man series. This is where men committed to being the right man in every moment strive to master the 10 characteristics of the comprehensive man: the fighter, the provider, the leader, the lover, the nurturer, the gentleman, the friend, the husband, the father, and the son. Join me as we rediscover what it truly means to be authentically human and rise to become the man the moment demands. Today, my beloved son Jason has joined us to share a moment from his life where he had to be a comprehensive young man. Shalom, Jason. I'm glad to have you here. My son, my only son, whom I'm well pleased. But thank you for stopping and helping me just share some things, insights about being a father, how to affirm a son, but yet still protect him. And it's a very moving story in my book. For those of you who haven't bought it, it's called The Man the Moment Demands. And this chapter is called The Father. Guess a little backstory. You initially started training in the Cave of Adullam at 6 years old. For those of you who don't know, the Cave of Adullam is a transformational training academy that the Most High had given me the vision for in 2007. I implemented it in 2008. But eventually you got to the place where you wanted to stop training and started playing basketball. But I guess the big thing was for you to complete your rite of passage when you turned, what were you, 14 or 15?
15.
15. And you decided to stop the cave and pursue basketball after making a commitment to your cave brothers, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
So what was it, the driving force behind that decision?
A lot of things was like, first thing honestly was wanting to do it with my friends. A lot of them was like telling me to do it. I feel like just the peer pressure kind of, not even peer pressure, but just wanting to, you know what I mean, be cool in their eyes, or like, you know, just like coming into high school, you want to kind of find an identity. I feel like a lot of people might have struggles with that, finding their identity in high school. And being a tall freshman kind of leads to the basketball route. It helped with my identity, but if I was to go back and do it again, I probably would stay with the cave because I had 3 more years of it.
You started playing your first year, you didn't get hurt, right? This was the second year.
No, this was my first year.
It was the first year playing.
Well, 8th grade was my first year,
yeah,
technically.
First year in high school
First
is
year in
when
high
you
school, I got
had
hurt.
the 2 injuries.
Yes.
The second one was the most significant,
Yes.
correct? Yes. So I'm going to read that for everyone here. Again, this is from my book, The Man the Moment Demands. I write, in the weeks leading up to Christmas break, Jason's team was playing an evening game when he took an inadvertent elbow to the head from an opposing player, resulting in a painful concussion. Our family doctor advised that Jason sit out the rest of the month and resume playing after the new year. During the Christmas break, I felt convicted by the Most High to make Jason keep his word, honor his commitment to his cave brothers, and complete his rite of passage. And so for everyone during that time, after the injury, we had time to talk and strategize and created a schedule which would allow you to continue playing basketball, but also finish your rite of passage. It was the first game of the new year. As the team finished their pregame warm-ups, Jason went for a routine layup, something he'd done countless times before. But this time when he landed, his knee buckled, hyperextending and straining his MCL, ACL, meniscus, and calf. Jason was in excruciating pain, but all he heard from his teammates and coaches was laughter. Embarrassed, Jason felt compelled to play through his pain. Later, an orthopedic doctor confirmed that his decision to keep playing likely caused more damage. What did you feel in that moment? I mean, first, like if you could take us through, you know, the excitement at first game back after the injury during before the Christmas break. You got a plan. Me and you were locked in. The coaches locked in, and then this happened. Take us to like through the beginning, and then when the injury happened, and how you felt afterward.
Yeah. So going up for that layup, As soon as my leg hit the ground, I just felt my leg pop back. It was pain off the rip. Um, Looking back on it, I will always talk to my teammates about it, like when it actually happened. Um, it was so funny because when I'm in like excruciating pain, I do like a grin smile. So like they thought I was playing it off or like joking. Like I was actually in pain. It took like them a while to realize I was on the ground for like 5 seconds. Yeah, they was just joking around and stuff like that. Thought I like flopped or something like that. But in reality, like I was going through pain, and in that moment, like it was hurting me even more. Like no one helped me up for a minute.
Mm.
Um, and that kind of like made me feel like I needed to play to, you know what I mean, like get some praise out of it for being tough, one, not being quote unquote soft or like pushing through it, making me look good. And two, I feel like another reason was like I didn't want my uncle to see me like that. Uncle
Uncle
John.
John, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? See you like what?
Cause he came a little late to the game. I wanted him to see me playing. I didn't want him to see me hurt or anything like that. And in other people's eyes, it seemed like soft because they didn't really see it because we were in the middle of layup lines. So they just saw me on the ground in pain, but they didn't really know like the pain it really caused mentally and physically. So that's what really caused me to play and push through it. It was really my emotions and trying to still get other people to see how quote unquote strong I am in that moment.
So, you said you heard laughter from your teammates, so they thought you were joking at first.
Yeah, they didn't think like I was really seriously hurt.
Okay, all right. And so, because we talked about when I was writing this book, because I had to ask you if I was telling this story correctly. Um, Here's a line. It says, as Jason adhered to the doctor's prescribed rehabilitation regimen, he became aware of the growing skepticism among the team and coaches who suspected that he was exaggerating the severity of the injury. Consequently, the harm extended beyond Jason's knee. It profoundly wounded his heart. As you can imagine, indignation surged within me. If not promptly addressed, these are the types of moments that can instill paralyzing fear of failure in a young mind. And so, although they weren't laughing at you when you initially got injured, you later found out that, there was skepticism behind if you were faking the injury and just trying to not play anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. How did that make you feel?
It kind of made me hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even kind of. It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
I'm the type of player on the team that gives my 100% every time, effort. So seeing my coaches, it wasn't really my teammates, seeing my coaches not talk highly of me when I'm really dealing with an injury and in rehab working, trying to play again. Even though I couldn't play again that season, I was trying to play again in crutches every day. They would see me around the school. Like, that hurt, you know what I mean? Especially when I would see them so highly. Coming as a freshman into the school, you want to impress them. You look up to them, you know what I mean? Like, those are not, quote unquote, not idols, but like you would want to get their attention and praise, like get praise from them because that's what you want as a high schooler.
As a father, because again, I was wanting to touch on this as well, being on the outside looking in, I had to check my emotions because I got angry when you shared that with me. And me being a coach as well of men, not basketball, but in martial arts, the Cave of Adullam, even a mentor to thousands of young boys across the country through social media and YouTube. I was very upset. As a coach, our responsibility is not only to teach you whatever it is that we're involved in or we're coaching, but also to help you navigate through challenging times like that, and that the principles we teach you either in sports, judo, jujitsu, whatever it is, boxing, that those same principles apply throughout life and that you're bigger than the game. Because of your height, it was just like expected for you to play. And I talked about that in here as well, is that just because you're tall doesn't mean you were created to just dribble a ball. Mm-hmm. Me and your mother prayed for you to come, but because of all 5 miscarriages prior and her potentially losing her life with the last one, I didn't want her to try to have a child again.
Yeah.
But I surrendered to the Holy Spirit and prayed for you to come.
Yes, sir.
You know, I mean, so you know the story. 2 weeks later, she was pregnant, and here you are. And it was a battle. Her appendix had ruptured while you were 5 months, and the doctors had to go in and take you out to get to her appendix to take that out to put you back. And so when I think about that, son, as a father, especially a man of Yah, was Satan after you that tough? Was there such spiritual war against you because you were going to play basketball? No.
Mm.
So those are the things as a father I saw, but I had to stay back. And even now you're still playing, you know, finished the year strong. You didn't attain the goal that you want, but I was proud of you for enduring everything that you had to.
Yes, sir.
And as fathers, we, especially with our sons, and then we see other men not treat them the way we would, it makes us angry. But, you know, props to Coach B for he and I having a conversation after the season, and it was very transparent, and I was able to get to learn more about him. And that's why I do what I do as far as helping coaches and men, because all of us got an unresolved or unhealed broken boy. And unfortunately, a lot of us martial art instructors, teachers, boxing coaches, basketball coaches, football coaches, we lead from that wound instead of a healed heart. I remember after the season you got injured, I brought up the Anthony Davis jersey. I remember sharing with you why you got the jersey. Am I correct?
That was before. That was way before. That was like 7th grade.
No, not when I gave it to you, not when you got the jersey.
Oh, you just brought it up, like mentioned
Yeah,
it.
I'm remembering when, again, I was trying to find the positives to like keep you encouraged. And I remember reminding you of what Anthony Davis wrote on the jersey he gave you. What does it say?
It said to Jason, keep going, young king.
Yeah. And what was deep, you know, it wasn't centered around basketball because he gave you that jersey because you had a high GPA.
Yeah.
You know, what does that signature mean? Does it mean anything to you?
Yeah, it means a few things, honestly. To answer the first question, it was like surreal, honestly, because that was my favorite player. Still is. It just meant a lot to me that he saw me for who I am. Another thing, like every day, it's like above my desk, kind of in my room. And it's a good reminder while I'm doing homework to keep going, like to keep striving, to be great, you know. It's more meaning to those 2 words than it actually is on the jersey and that way you signed. It's just motivation to keep going. Seeing that every day, waking up, doing homework, putting my clothes on, getting ready to go to school. Like that's a good constant reminder of how blessed I am.
What is the most important thing you could tell fathers who are watching this, that when their sons are going through challenges like you did with basketball or in school or in relationships, what would you advise fathers to focus on when raising their sons in those type of moments?
Yeah, so for example, with what we were just talking about with the injury piece, I'll give a shout out to you because you did a good job at not so much dogging me for leaving the cave, and I could tell that meant a lot to you. Well, I could tell that took a lot. Well, not even took a lot out of you, but you know, the cave is close to your heart. You created it when I was born, and like part of you creating it was because of me. So as a father, if your kid is making a decision for himself and he's trying to make a leap or a jump, support him. At the moment, it's not your role to dog him or tell him what he's not doing or he shouldn't be doing that. Support him. If he falls, and that's what you, your wife, or whoever is in his circle, that's what they're for. You got to lift him up as he falls so he can have that experience of him falling, lift him back up, encourage him through it. If he wants to keep continuing doing it, encourage him, be by his side, let him know that you're there to support him, even though you might not be fully with that idea. Now, if it's fully outlandish and you don't think he should be doing that, I will have that talk with him. But if he wants to have that experience for himself, support him with it, be there with him, let him know that you always have his back so he can feel confident in his decision, because the people around him will make him feel confident in what he's doing and how he's going to do it. So I feel like that's key.
So would you say it's more so, I guess, affirmation more so than disciplining?
It can be both.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely can be both. Sometimes there's a need for the discipline piece and the guidance along there. Because sometimes when the kid doesn't know what they're doing, they're going completely left when they should be going right. I mean, you need the guidance for
Yeah,
that for
and
sure.
I'm glad you said they're doing something outlandish, because as fathers, we have to step in and say, hey, enough is enough. And I believe I failed you in that regard on a few things, because again, I've lived longer and I've seen more and I have more wisdom. And, the scriptures say, train up a child in the way that he should go, and so I got some things I really need to work on. This being your senior year coming up, I want to make sure that, again, I give you your room to grow, but at the same time, make sure you're staying on that narrow path.
Yes, sir.
Out of the 10 characteristics of the comprehensive man, we got the fighter, the provider, the leader, the nurturer, the lover, the gentleman, the friend, the husband, the father, and the son. Which one do you think is the most important?
For me, leader.
The leader right now in your life.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because right now everyone's pretty much the same. Like no one's set apart. In my school, you might have the people who are more popular, but like when you look at everyone else, they have the same interests, same things they do. Like everyone's pretty much the same. Being set apart is hard, even for myself. Knowing right from wrong. Even when I'm not doing the right thing, like it's hard doing that because everyone else is doing what's wrong when you really know what's right.
That's good.
Leading takes a big step, especially for me. I always have had a spirit of leadership. I feel like a lot of people see that. But taking that next step in leadership will really be key for me.
Any final words you would like to share?
Stop trying to look for other people's attention and props. Like I know that's like super hard, especially at our age when we don't really know who we are and what we're about. I feel like we must, it's a must that we have to find out who we really are, what we really want to do, and how we can help others.
I love you. Thanks.
Like you said, yes, sir.